Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us right now on iTunes, please go and leave a 5-star review. We got a lot of great reviews here, and I'm going to read one. I'm going to read one for you guys because I appreciate the 5-star reviews so much. Here is one from Sick as Me. Sick as Me. It's from a little while ago, this review. Love the show. The way you brought out Lisa Lampanelli's artistic side in your interview was inspiring. I always knew she was hilarious, but I never thought past the laughter into the craft. I myself felt artistically inspired as a result. It was awesome hearing from Off the Grid as well. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Sick as Me. Had a great weekend of shows. I was in Florida doing shows in Boca, in Palm Beach, in Tampa. Met some really fantastic fans. Like I was like particularly touched to meet and talk. And you know who you are. Farron and this other blonde Russian lady was there. A lot of really great people. So it was super fun. And there's more dates coming, guys. So come see me do stand up. I'm going to be in Oklahoma City at the Bricktown Comedy Club on May 9th. Then this is going to be a big show. It's a whole weekend of shows. The Comedians of the Compound are coming to Austin, Texas, May 14th and 15th. And then see me in Springfield, New Jersey at the Comedy Cove, Scotty's Comedy Cove, April 21st and 22nd. Working on more dates, but always go to my website, chrissiemayr.com, for details and tickets and links and that sort of thing. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Cushy Dreams. Guys, you're anxious. I'm anxious. We're all anxious. And there's only one way to stop the anxiety, and it's to smoke your CBD. They offer a full lineup of premium smokable CBD, Cushy Dreams. They specialize in extraordinary CBD-rich hemp flower, aka bud, in cans and pre-roll joints. I really like it because they just sent me a kind of a new shipment that I'm like really excited to get into. I really love the joints because I don't have to like put together a bowl or something. You know, I just pop it open. They're in this cute, like very travel friendly little thing. Look how dainty and ladylike this is. And then I just whip out a joint, expertly hand trimmed, never machine trimmed. Independent lab tests constantly are being done to ensure compliance and purity. All of this can be found on their website, cushydreams.com. It helps you sleep. It helps you get through the day. I like to have a couple puffs of like this dream right before I go to bed. Or if I feel like I want to like up and at 'em, I think I have a hustle here. Yeah. Oh, this is energy. They've got different indica sativa blends like energy, dream, create, hustle. So whatever you want to do with your day, Cushy Dreams has you covered. It's cannabis that ships directly to you. It's legal in all 50 states, and you can enjoy all the health benefits of CBD without getting high, which I really love. Sometimes you want to get some stuff done with your day. And best of all, it's grown here in the USA. So go to cushydreams.com and get some high quality CBD bud. At checkout, use promo code CMP to get 20% off every order. You'll be on your way to relaxing and maxing relaxing. I forgot the rest of the song. But yeah, guys, throw away the vapes, throw away the gummies, grow up. Grow the hell up. I'm so excited to have this guy on the podcast today. I'm going to go ahead and say he's becoming a regular on the pod. Maybe I'm becoming a regular on his pod. I guess we'll find out. He is the host of Who Are These Podcasts, the only podcast out there that actually reviews critically. There's so many podcasts out there. I would say maybe even too many. But this guy, he reviews them all. He tells you which ones are good, which ones suck. And he has fun while he's doing it. Welcome to the show, Karl.
Chrissie Mayr, what is happening?
Yay!
Third time on the Chrissie Mayr podcast.
You might have the most appearances so far.
Time? Did I do that?
Right. You got to do it like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant my
third time. Right. This is wild. I've seen. I actually saw a picture circulating of Michael Jordan doing this when he won 3 of something.
Yeah, it's what everyone's always thought was 3 up until like the last year or two.
And you can't do this? I mean, I've seen people do this, but it's like a gang sign. As could this be. But who cares? You know what? It's wild.
It's all stupid. Happy Star Wars Day, Chrissie.
Happy Star Wars Day. Yes. Oh, wow.
Behind you. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, I've got different, like, here we go, little I got my porg there, and I
Yep.
got the baby Yoda. Anything that's cute, I'm gonna buy. It's a secret
Fair
to
enough.
me. So how have you been, Karl? Yeah, you were just telling me before we started recording that you have this new look, this new beard, hair, working out combo going on.
Well, the problem I'm into now is that it's gotten so thick that I don't know how to get rid of it. So that's where
Maybe
I'm
like a razor?
probably
that
a
something
place to
you've
start.
considered? Yeah.
Scissors, razor. It's a short list of solutions, but I was considering both. And yeah, maybe we'll get rid of it this week. I don't know.
I don't hate it.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Are you on me, Chrissie?
Yeah, that's the closest.
Watch the show?
That's the closest you're gonna get to a compliment. I don't hate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
What is new and who are these podcasts world? If you don't know, if you haven't heard of Karl or listened to one of his episodes, he has a Stuttering John segment, and he's come to just always dedicate a portion of his show to the gaffes and the foibles of the famous Stuttering John, and that's how we became friends. Is because I interviewed Stuttering John, hijinks ensued. I'm not gonna say it went viral, but I did get a lot of attention from how I dealt with him being a total douchebag.
Not to cut you off, I am still seeing videos being made about your interview with Stuttering John. Did you see the one from Zach Waldman that just came out?
No. Hello. Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that out. Wow. Zach Waldman on
it's
YouTube.
Like a minute recap of your interview with Stuttering John. So since you brought that up, one of the things that we've been doing lately, if you look on our YouTube channel, is we're making these Stuttering John deepfake videos. They're like 30 seconds, 60 seconds long, and it's just quick goofing on John in front of a green screen. We make the person who's pretending to be John look a little bit like him, kind of close enough to make it funny, and we just act out little skits.
Oh my God. Wait, okay, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put this up on the screen here. The scream. Because do you use Streamyard for your pods, Karl?
I don't, because we're audio only. I did do one video podcast with Vince, John's former attorney, and Shuli's sidekick. Yeah, that's our
I like it. Yeah, if you ever think about going into video, I like it. It's made things easier for me. And in fact, I think I'll have a promo code down below if you guys are interested. Okay, so here is your YouTube channel. Yeah. This is a deep fake. This is not Stuttering John.
Right.
Which one of these should I play?
It's a fun one is the one all the way to the right there.
Behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's a quick one. It's quick and fun.
So thanks for hanging out. Support us on the Patreon.
Oh my God.
Subscribe on YouTube. And Gagia.
And cut.
Thank you. Can I please get something else to drink besides Coors Light? Oh, that'll do just fine. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, this is great. These are great, Karl. Wow.
So they're all just quick clips like that. Yeah, if you want to play another one.
Who is doing these?
It's really amazing, the haters and the trolls and the idiots. They say I have a cockroach problem. It's funny.
You're the cockroach, Karl.
I am.
That's you jumping up and down.
Over and over. What are the chances?
Oh my God. Right, because he had a cockroach problem in one of his apartments.
Well, it is only apartment, yeah.
Right. Oh, right. Not his condo.
Yeah.
Ew.
Because actually, that video that's showing you to play next, hit that one. That one's fun. That was one that we did in the original batch.
Now, are you also doing the Stuttering John part?
No, he just kind of goes on riffs and says whatever comes to mind, and then it's like later on, oh, you all right?
Yeah, hold on a second.
That's from the original video where got to cover the cockroach.
All right, so this was his original guest there?
No. I was worried you were having one of those Trump mini strokes or something there.
Oh, I love it. I love how it fades out at the end there.
That's all the original audio from John's show when he discovered the cockroach, and then we did that. So since we're bringing this up, I wanted to ask you. So the guy who's filming these and does the green screen and the deepfake technology is this guy Circus Midget on Twitter. You might know him. He calls into the Pat Dixon show as Governor Cuomo.
Circus Midget, his name is?
Yes, and he does a bunch of photoshops and stuff for shows on Compound as well as ours. He's quite prolific, but he happens to live in my neck of the woods, so we connected and we started filming these. What he wants to do is reenact the famous Dabbler interview. He wants to have you on.
No.
Big John. Now, what I thought would be fun,
What an honor.
like a follow-up interview. We'll come up with some bits around what would be if John were to agree to do your show again. How would that go down?
Oh my God. Yeah. First of all, I think he would definitely correct. He would make a correction that no, he was not trying to hit on me. He was not trying to ask me for drinks. If I were to ever come out to LA, he was doing that to be nice. What else would he do? He
would also tell you, now, I was saying that everyone's thin-skinned and that people are saying that I was thin-skinned because you called me a dabbler, but I'm not a dabbler. And then he just starts getting freaked out again.
Yeah, I think he would try to start up an apology, and then he would get so worked up and angry that he would end up saying something even meaner as a result. He'd be like, I didn't know you were purposely. I thought you were messing with me. I thought, I don't know. I thought I was doing Kumia's show. Turns out you're a different person, and I didn't mean to make you feel. Hey, anyway, he would just like get carried away, get so mad, and how
easy this is to write. I sit down and I write like 6 or 7 of these in 10 minutes because they're just so easy to come up with this shit that John would say, and it's actually shit that he would say, which makes it so funny. So let's get this set up. I want to do.
Yeah, this sounds great. This sounds.
Okay, cool.
This would be fun. Yeah, and I can rewatch it and I can really relive the moments. And then maybe, like we'd have to play with somehow that he was frozen for most of it. So it's like, would he be frozen again? Or I don't know what he would do.
Yeah, that would be funny if we had him frozen, like the actual John, but like, an even more ridiculous facial expression that he's making.
Yeah.
And then he could be hitting on you the whole time while he's frozen,
and then denying that he's hitting on me. Like just saying, if you want to, it doesn't have to be drinks. It could be a meal. It could be lunch. It could be Wendy's
or not. Whatever.
Yeah, I could take you for a froyo. I'm doing your show. So at what point I want to know, Karl, because now Stuttering John is suing you, and this has been kind of an ongoing battle. Like at what point did he start suing you?
So what happened was I made a throwaway line joke where we were talking about his stint on the Stephanie Miller show. And I said, John actually was fired for being drunk on the Stephanie Miller show. Now that was a joke, but it was not accurate. He did quit the Stephanie Miller show. So John comes on his show that next week and he goes, I finally got you. You told a lie about me that was both libel and slander. And so I've talked to my attorney and he said, yep, we can sue you. And I'm going to sue you. He went on for 10 minutes about that. And then
a couple
days later, he went on another rant about suing me again. So I'm pretty sure I know John's tactics at this point. He thinks he's going to scare me away. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't talk about John anymore. He's going to sue me. I did just the opposite. I brought on his former attorney to talk.
Oh my God. How did you get him?
I went back and I found the original audio from 2019 where he was talking about why he quit the Stephanie Miller show, which makes him look like an incompetent retard. So I played all that stuff again. And I've really just been trying to antagonize him as much as possible. We're doing a bonus show on the Patreon this week on the WATP Patreon that I'm going to be reviewing John's assessment of the New York Post article, the hit piece on Howard Stern's demise.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be going through John taking credit for why the Stern show used to be good and now is no longer good. It's all because of Stuttering John, apparently. So
he takes all the credit for the rise, but none for the fall.
Right.
I mean, he's also been out of it a very long time, like 20 years.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess my point is that John threatened to sue me. He really doesn't have a case because I already walked it back. It's a defamation suit. You have to prove that there was intent to injure and you have to prove your injuries. So he can't prove either of those things. So it'd be a waste of his time to go through with it. And plus, I don't know a lot of people who threaten lawsuits and then go through with it. Like if you're going to sue someone, just sue me. Just just
quietly do it. You'll get the papers, whatever. Yeah.
And then we can take it from there. But this whole thing where it's like, just you wait, check your mailbox tomorrow. Like, okay, I check it every day. I'm waiting. He even says, he goes, I know where you live. I have your address. Like, great. I checked the mail. So that's good. We got this all figured out now. I'm waiting for it.
I sent you something. I sent you something from Amazon. Check your mail.
Yeah. I checked out your Amazon wish list. Some of the stuff was too expensive.
You check your mailbox. It's just a letter from him. Like, can we please be friends?
Written in crayon.
Okay, good. So you're not worried.
I'm not worried at all. I already know an attorney here legally who will take the case on pro bono because it's hilarious. So
yeah. That's great.
Even if it did cost me money, Chrissy, I'm not worried about it because I know he has no case and then it will get thrown out. And it would be so much fun. I had Radio Inc. magazine reach out to me to ask me about this lawsuit. Like if
Whoa.
Yes, I'm sure it'll make a lot more headlines and be much better for the show. Probably better for his show too. But I'd be fine with it. I'm actually rooting for it.
Wow. So yeah, it's going to be really good promotion for Who Are These Podcasts. Who have been some of your good guests lately? And I also, I think I want the people, because people who are listening to this are already probably a lot of longtime fans of yours too, that they'll probably agree, with who you name. But who have been your really good guests, and also what makes for a really good Who Are These Podcasts guest or host or co-host or.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you know who Dr. Steve is from Weird?
Yes, I know Dr. Steve. Yeah.
I love Dr. Steve. So he reached out and he wanted to come on the show. Now, Dr. Steve is a practicing physician. He heads up a medical center. He has a radio show on Sirius XM. The guy is busy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
He came on the show. I gave him an assignment. I found another medical show that was ridiculous.
Wow, that's perfect for him.
Yes, he pulled clips. He put together super clips from the show. He came on ready to talk shit. He also had some fun with our review girl, Vic, talked about squirting for a while.
Him personally.
He came prepared, locked and loaded. That's what makes a great co-host. I've had people suggested to me, like, oh, you should get this guy or that guy. And they're comedians that I love and respect. And I always say, if they're not familiar with the show, they're not going to be good on the show, because this is not a normal podcast. Hey, come on, we'll just shoot the shit. There's a lot of homework involved. You have to listen to the show ahead of time. At least if you're not pulling clips, at least have an idea of what you want to talk about, or let me know what you want to talk about so I can pull some clips, because we like to go through in our reviews and make sure that we're pointing out specifically, like, this is what they do and this is why it sucks. So it's very important that we're able to play for the listeners. This is specifically what they do. So being prepared is definitely the most important piece of it. I've also been having on guests lately who aren't necessarily coming on to be co-hosts. And I've just started doing this where I'm bringing on people for segments of the show. So I had Alyssa Jordana on. Do you know who Alyssa is?
That sounds familiar.
She used to date Benji Bronk of the Howard Stern Show, which is why I know who she is.
Okay.
Show called, well, she's also engaged to Andy Dick.
Oh my God. He's straight? All right.
I don't think she would even tell you he's straight. So
yeah, we're getting engaged. That doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything. So I had Alyssa Jordana on. She's from the show Kermit and Friends, and she was a great guest because Stuttering John has tried to sleep with her numerous times. He asked her out on a date to go hiking. She said no, so he blocked her.
Wow.
So
he returned all the hiking equipment that he bought in her size.
So, you know who was another outstanding guest co-host? And we have a lot of regular co-hosts. Like, I always mix it up with the rotation of people who come on. Chrissy's been fantastic when you've on the show. Seriously.
I've really come a long way.
It's on it. I think you did a fantastic job last time.
Oh,
but,
thanks.
But we have a regular rotation of people who come in here, and friends of mine and other people who really do a great job pulling together clips and having an angle and going for it. But also I test out new people. So we had this guy on, Eric Zane from the
I've heard you say his name all the time.
So he is an ex-radio guy. He used to be the third mic on Free Beer and Hot Wings, which is a show that's a silly morning show, but it was syndicated in like 30 markets. relatively big show. So Eric Zane is one of these guys who found himself on the outside of the industry because radio doesn't pay anymore and there aren't a lot of gigs. So he started up his own podcast and he is hustling. He is pushing it hard. You know, it's got a local following where he is in Michigan. So he decided he didn't like the way that Chad Zumock presented himself on my show. Now, I had Chad Zumock on this one show, and it kind of got derailed. He really wanted to motherfuck you quite a bit. That was his main goal.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, all right. And then I had him on again on a bonus show. So what Eric Zane did, have you heard Eric Zane on my show yet? If not, I gotta send you the clips.
You have to send me the clip.
Because what he did was he put together a whole Chad Zumock package where he played Chad Zumock on my show and then Chad Zumock on his show, and just showed that there were a lot of inconsistencies with what he was saying. He was calling out people for being narcissists, and narcissism is really a problem with these comedians, blah, 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 blah. And then he's on his show and he's like, I make a living from comedy. I got 7 standing ovations at my last set. He was like,
oh, it's interesting that you say that. It's interesting that you say that because let me pull up. I saw this. This is literally the perfect segue. This was the Lake Park Black Box. So yeah, it's like near Palm Beach. Like it's probably like North Palm Beach. It's like when people say, oh, like it's something like North Williamsburg or East Williamsburg, when really they mean Bushwick. That's how they do the wording here. I gotta pull this up. So I was like about to go on stage, and comedians often Levity Live, a lot of comedy clubs have bands and comics. They'll end up just signing the back wall or the back green room somewhere. And so I'm about to go on stage, and I look on the wall, and I see it says Chad Zoom. All right, I have to bring this up.
Yeah. Hold
on. Okay, let's see if I can. Chad Zumock got a standing ovation. 4/15/21.
So,
and he leaves a sticker of authenticity there, so you know that it really happened.
That's incredible to me. Who would write how good they performed? I thought when I first saw that, I thought someone else wrote that to goof on him.
Like wrote underneath his name, like he had signed it, and then someone else came through and was like, let me add to this.
Yeah, because who would write that on the wall?
It's like, yeah, he was here, but how did he do? Did he really? And this was not long ago.
I know this was just April 15th.
This was just a couple weeks ago.
Wow. Yeah. So
he's back, and he's killing it, apparently.
I don't know if that's narcissism or if that's insecurity. There's something going on there that's a bit.
You'll never see a wall and be like, Rich Voss fucking crushed, man. You'll never see like Louis C.K. got a standing ovation at the Cellar. This date. Because people know he's good.
Well, and also because if Rich Voss tried to do that, his wife would say,
who fucking cares?
Thank you, Bonnie, for being the voice of reason.
Thanks, Bonnie. Wow, I've never had sound effects on my show. This is kind of nice.
You don't have a soundboard? What are you, crazy?
I don't have any. I have to get one. I don't know. It's usually just serious interviews, but maybe I got to mix it up.
You do need to mix it up because you want to have Michael Rappaport on your show whenever possible.
This dude is fucking corny.
That's great.
Always fun.
That's good. They're quick. It's not like a long thing. So yeah, Chad's crushing it. I don't know if his signature should include like a little picture of a wallet or something like, but I'm still, and everyone was like, not everyone, a few people on Twitter was like, oh, Chrissie's in Florida. Like, you need to make up with Chad. You need to And I'm like, look, I would have happily had Chad on any of those shows, but I remain Zoo blocked. So how am I going to, if you're still having me blocked, it doesn't seem like you're going to be open to a spot, a guest spot or whatever.
Yeah. So, Chrissie, you had mentioned, I believe, in the beginning there that you'd like to come back on the show again. You have an open invitation at this point. Because-
oh my God, thank you. Do you know, Karl? At first, I was very resentful of the fact that I had to do homework to be on. I mean, now I've come full circle. My journey started out like. I think one time I was from a baseball game, another time I was at a zoo, and then I finally did okay the last time when we reviewed Paris Hilton's podcast, because it had been in the news because this 10-year-old clip resurfaced that she was on from Opie and Anthony, and she's like, I'm such a victim. It's like, you went there willingly. Like, you knew what that show was about. She's just being a dumb cunt. Yeah.
That was a great episode. You came on, I think it was our episode 149 or something like that, where we did This Is Paris.
This is Paris, yeah. And I was like, at first I resented the homework, but it's really crucial and it's really necessary because it's not the kind of podcast that you can just riff on. Like, you really, it's like you're doing yourself a favor. If you inform yourself and you really listen through to at least a couple, episodes of whatever podcast it is, it's like, then now and you can should talk even more.
Are you listening, Shuli Egar? Are you listening?
Oh, why did he phone it in?
Yeah. So Shuli came on the show. His first appearance was fantastic. I loved it. We talked about High Pitch Eric. He did his impressions. It was great. It was really funny. Everyone loved him. So I think he got a little too comfortable. And on this most recent appearance, which is our latest episode right now, he had not even listened to the show that we were reviewing before coming on the show. And, he's a touring comedian. He's in Texas and he's doing it from his phone. And I appreciate him taking the time. But when you're like traveling, it's really easy to listen, like pop in a podcast and just give it a listen, maybe jot a note or two. But
yeah. When I was driving.
I don't want to hold on real quick. I don't want to end this with me bashing Shuli because Shuli's great. And I really appreciate him coming on the show. And we did go through that New York Post article, the Howard Stern hit piece. Have you read that?
It sounds recent.
Yes, it just came out a week or two ago. But anyway, I got an exclusive. I got Shuli's reactions to it, which is a guy who worked there for 15 years, was great. So I don't want to just trash Shuli. I love Shuli. He's awesome. I hope the next time he comes on the show, he gives a listen to the podcast that we're reviewing. That'd be fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh yeah, Howard Stern. Because I saw a piece that Christian Toto had written. He does a really good his I guess his piece, not his piece, but like his column is called like Hollywood in Toto, or maybe that's the whole website. And he wrote an article about how like Cumia actually lapped Howard where it counts, which is he's been standing for free speech forever, and Howard's just kind of like rich and irrelevant and stands for nothing now. And I guess this is what you were talking about. Yes.
If you haven't read this article, it's for people who like Howard Stern, that's the thing. If you don't care about Howard Stern and you
long in decline,
then this might bore the shit out of you. But I was listening up until about a year ago when the pandemic hit and Stern had a retreat to his basement. And I'm trying to listen to this guy's show and be entertained. He's talking about how he microwaves salads that he orders from the restaurant.
Oh God.
COVID. He even said, I kid you not, because he's such a germaphobe. He's so afraid of the pandemic. He's probably watching a little bit too much CNN.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I keep telling my dad to stop reading the New York Times because he's touching the newspaper that came in from the outside world. It's going to kill him. Like,
oh my God. Really? He hasn't gotten the update that there's no transfer on surfaces anymore?
Well, this was a year ago. There was a lot of fear porn out there, but still, that's ridiculous.
Just don't touch anything. Wow, it says here he has no intention of ever returning to his Midtown studio, his luxury Upper West Side apartment, or any semblance of pre-pandemic life. He is such a good example of, there's lots of people like him too, that they kind of need an excuse to check out from life. I mean, he has all the money he's ever going to need. Like, why should he work hard at anything anymore?
I try not to hate people, Chrissie. I even like the people that we pick on, like Stuttering John. I appreciate him. I hate the people who enjoy the pandemic. And I know a bunch of them.
He loves it. I do not believe the pandemic will ever be over.
Yep. These fucking people are the worst. They're just like, oh, this is great. I never leave the house anymore. I don't have to go out and do stuff. Fuck people who work in restaurants.
Yeah. I probably don't have to deal with fans, the people who love me and gave me everything I have. I don't have to do autographs. He gets $1 million per show. Ugh.
Yeah. His contract is big. And in this article, something that really surprised me, I remember when I ordered Sirius back when Stern first went over there, and it was 400,000 people subscribed to it. And then Howard Stern came on and millions of people subscribed to it. So the vast majority of people who had Sirius did so because of Howard Stern. In this article, it states that it's now low single-digit percentage of people surveyed who have Sirius say they do for Howard Stern.
Wow.
The guy's not even a draw anymore, and they're still paying him all the money. Jason Ellis is gone. And all of these people are getting pushed out, and all of the money is going to one guy whose show is irrelevant. I don't know anyone who listens to the show anymore.
We're not seeing any boobs. There's no like interesting little segments. No one's sticking anything in themselves.
Instead of boobs, they now do Cocktober. You familiar with this, Chrissy?
Oh yeah. Wait, Cocktober. What is that? Is that just like
it's
you don't shave your pubes for a month?
It's like Richard and Sale going into the studio and pulling their pants down and touching tips and shit. It's the gayest stuff you've ever seen.
Wow. Do they actually have the camera like on the penises though? Probably not.
I don't know. Chrissy, do you think I'm watching this?
I don't think you're watching. Yeah, no one's watching it.
Back on that.
Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah, not fun. So,
well, good for him. God bless him. He's doing what he loves, which is being safe.
And making everyone around him miserable, which is why Shuley got out of there, and I'm happy for him. He's doing really well.
Yeah. I'm back to washing my hands for 5 seconds like I was pre-pandemic. I'm back to walking around Chinatown, letting Asian guys cough into my face, just like I was. I'm trying to get my antibodies, You know
what I do? I wipe my ass, and I'm like, I don't think my finger touched anything too bad. I just won't even wash. I'll just walk right out the door and start shaking hands.
Yeah. It's good. That's how you build up your immune system.
I'm trying to protect my loved ones by building up their immune systems.
Yeah. Honestly, it's gross. Yeah, there's still so much propaganda in New York City. Like I was waiting for the subway the other day, and I heard, which I had never heard before. I never heard a celebrity themed subway announcement. Hi, this is Aquafina, who's an Asian woman, so she's probably crushing it right now. The gigs are probably flowing in, and she's like, just letting you know, like, wear a mask. And it's like, ugh. I don't know.
I'll tell you where, and I'm in New York State. I'll tell you where I realize that this is all propaganda. It's all marketing. Is when the signs. So we have signs on the side of the road now that tell us how to live our lives, which is
the road signs now blink like wear a mask. It's still crazy out there. It's like you're in your car. You're fine.
The day I realized that the marketing machine is out of control is when they started rhyming. One small ask, wear a mask. And I went, okay, this is now going out to agencies who are pitching ideas back. All right, Cuomo, here are the 7 that we've drilled down that we really like a lot. This one rhymes. Like, yes, ding, ding, ding. Get that up on every fucking sign. One small ask, wear a mask. It's like, who doesn't know about this? It's like when they tell you that smoking's bad for you. Like, who's not getting the memo on this? We know. We're either going to wear a mask or not. And you can mandate it and you can arrest people. It's fine. But I hate that they're shoving the propaganda at us all the time. It's like, I fucking know. I've been living here for the last year. We get it. You want to wear.
It's like, it worked for Click It or Ticket. Maybe we can have our own little jingle.
At least out in New York, out in LA, they have shit about like human trafficking. There's like human trafficking is illegal. It's like, what? Since when? I didn't know that. What else? Okay, no idea.
Yeah, and then whenever I do a road trip, or even when I'm in a rest stop, like they always have flyers in the bathroom. Like, if you are being human trafficked right now, like call this number. And it's like, she probably doesn't have a cell phone.
Have you been having sex without your permission for the last month? Please call this number, because that's a problem. That is a problem.
Yeah. Is your boyfriend 3 times your age?
I hope that sign is also written in Spanish, by the way. Otherwise, it's not doing much.
Right. What's the point? Ugh, it's crazy. It's crazy out there. Yeah, but I like that a lot of people are aware that it's propaganda. They're not actually, the bubble's been popped on like, oh, this is news. They have our best interests at stake,
I think so. I talk to a lot of people who feel that way, and then you talk to a lot of crazy people who feel just the opposite. So who knows?
We should just split up into teams. Oh, wait. That's what we're doing.
Perfect. Speaking of splitting up into teams, Chrissie Mayr, you're crushing it. You're friends with Ann Coulter now, I hear.
I guess so.
How long with Ann Coulter? Is that because your boss, Anthony Cumia, makes you be friends with Ann Coulter? Are you doing that because of your boss?
Oh, yeah. Everyone's making me be friends with her. Yeah, it was unexpected. I told her, I'll be down there. Oh, I don't know if this echo. Can you hear the echo?
I don't. It sounds great.
Okay. All right. I'll just ignore it. I was like, I'm going to be, in Florida. And she's like, come stay with me. And I was like, are you for real? And so, yeah, she let me stay with her a couple nights. She and a bunch of her friends came out to the Saturday night show. the Lake Park Black Box, the one where Chad Zumach had a standing ovation a couple weeks
Hold on
ago.
a second. I gotta know what it's like at Ann Coulter's house. You probably don't want to reveal too much here.
You know, it's really nice. It's not a McMansion. It's not ostentatious. It's not. It's something that was like. It's the original, like built whenever, I don't know, 20s, 30s, like, and it's been kept up nice. It's very much like not what you would expect, like a rich, famous person. It's just like a nice.
What's the liquor cabinet situation?
You know,
Wine cellar situation. I have a feeling that she's pretty stocked.
Nick DiPaolo came over and we recorded a podcast like on her deck, and he kept saying like, "What's there to drink? What's there to drink?" Because so I was going through like my fridge. We drank up all the couple of White Claws that were in there, and then I didn't want to seem like I was just rooting through her stuff, but then she came down later. She's like, "You could have drank whatever you want." I was like, "I'm just not that comfortable yet." So
smart. This is how you make celebrity friends and keep them, is by not being a mooch.
Yeah, she's got a lot of flavored seltzer. She's very healthy. Yeah, a lot of seltzer, Pellegrino. She had regular milk for coffee, and I was like, I really like cream. But I'm like, you know what? You don't get to be Ann Coulter drinking cream, you know? So
I'm just wondering if she's more of a Scotch or more of a bourbon whiskey drinker. That's what my.
I don't know.
Were you looking through medicine cabinets? Were you doing anything interesting?
I was not. I did not want to snoop. Like I was busy too. I was doing shows. Yeah. She had a little pool. I didn't go in it. I didn't even bring a suit. I was actually, remember at one point I was on the phone with Frank, my boyfriend, and I was just like fishing leaves out of her pool because it needed to be done. And I was like, why not?
You can't go too far because then they're just going to think you're the help and be like, oh, let's have Chrissie over anytime. She cleans up. It's great.
In the pool. Yeah. No, it was great. Like the bookcase in her guest house, which was like small, cute, you know, is more impressive than most people's regular book collection.
Is it all her books?
No.
I
saw just one of her books in there. It's a lot of like, stuff about like Marxism. It's really interesting.
She's a well-learned person. I would imagine she reads a lot of books.
Oh yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, and you've written so many books. What, like 6? She's like 13. And I'm like, oh God. I felt bad. Like I haven't read them all. But you know, it's not like a research trip. So she's so sweet. She's so gracious.
Well, congratulations on having all your celebrity fans. And now I have to motherfuck you for something that you did to me directly. So I'm trying to say yes to people as much as possible. If they want me to do their show, I will come on. And so I got a note from our mutual friend, Michael Gavin Ali.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
You've created a monster with this guy. He's now going to start his own podcast because he had such a amazing stint co-hosting the Wet Spot.
His head got too big.
Well, I made the mistake of sending him a compliment on Twitter after watching that episode.
He also loves your podcast.
I know he does. He tweets at me all the time. So anyway, he says, I'm going to start my own podcast. I want you to be a guest. So I said yes. He's got Mike Sappho helping him out, which used to be a producer.
How did they link up?
I don't know. It's such a weird world that we live in with the internet and podcasting. So anyway, I think that's this Friday night. If he doesn't reschedule again, I'll be the very first guest ever on the Michael Gavin Ali show.
Wow. I think it was supposed to be me, but I've been like traveling a lot. I've been busy.
Yeah, I know. I start doing stand-up or something, so I have an excuse. Oh, geez, I'm going to be in Utah that week. I don't know. That's going to be.
Oh, man. Wow. I wonder if it's going to be like you could completely like drive the whole podcast, like take it over and then just talk about just whatever you want to talk about. Just make it, like a Who Are These Podcasts recap show. And then he keeps trying to ask you questions and you keep bringing him back to your show. Yeah,
I haven't decided what my angle is yet, but I'll play it by ear, I guess. See how he does.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry for that. Like he's a nice guy. He sends me so many messages. He's very confident. Like I don't fully understand autism, but like he's very confident in areas like he shouldn't be confident in, you know, and he's
like talking directly to the talent. You mean like that type of confidence?
Yeah. And he thinks even if he's doing one role, like guest hosting, then that means he's in charge of all the booking. He can say what happens, what doesn't happen.
I tell you a funny story about my first interactions with Michael? And we love you, Michael.
We love you, Michael. If you're listening to this, I'm such a big fan.
This is all fun. But Dave Landau was supposed to do my show, and Dave Landau canceled on me. So we rescheduled.
Oh my God, me too. I wonder if it was the same time.
And Dave canceled on me again. So after the second cancellation, I go, fool me once, fool me twice, that whole thing. So I never asked him to do the show again after that. Because I figure, okay, it's busy. It's fine. It's like you said, it's a lot of work.
And also, a lot was happening with Louder with Crowder. They were getting kicked off YouTube.
This is going back years, though.
Okay.
This is going
Never
back.
mind.
Yeah, no, this is before all of that. But anyway, so I was like fine with it. I've done Anthony's show since then and talked to Dave, and it's all good. But Michael was tweeting at Dave over and over again. You got to do Who Are These Podcasts? You got to do Who Are These Podcasts? So eventually I just DM'd Dave and I said, just so you know, this is not my sock account. All right. I'm not the one because I would think that was my sock account if I got tweets over and over again. You got to do my show.
Yes.
He's like, no, Karl, I know it's not you. I've met this guy. See, I didn't realize this is before, the wet spot. I didn't realize who he was. So he's like, no, Karl, I know. I've met this guy. I understand. It's like, okay, good.
I guess he's been very outspoken. I guess before Landau left Cumia, very outspoken about how he is like the biggest fan of Landau. And then when he met me, he was like in his profile, he'd say big fan of Dave Landau and Chrissie Mayr. But then it's usually anytime he meets a porn star or talks to another girl comic, then he's the biggest fan of them. So
yeah, he doesn't get attached too easily. He move on.
Yeah, he's a fair weather man. But
Right.
Love you, Michael. You're a special guy.
So I'm taking one for you, Chrissie.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna be guest number 1. That's pretty cool.
Sure. Why not?
Did you? Oh, I don't know if we talked about this at all because I was thinking back to Stuttering John suing you. He said that you did both slander and libel.
Yes.
Isn't there a difference between the two?
There is. Yes. Slander is spoken and libel is written. And sometimes people confuse the two, but no one ever thinks that they're the same thing. Like if I ask someone off the street, what's the difference between between slander and libel?
That's both. Yeah.
Right. Libel would be both. That's what he should say. This guy is libeling me.
You've been slibeling.
I'm dabbling in slibel.
Dabbling and slibling.
If you ask someone off the street which is which, they might get it wrong. And you might have to look it up. But nobody thinks it's both the same thing. And he keeps saying over and over again that it's both libel and slander. I don't write about this guy. I don't have a blog. All right. I'm not.
Maybe he thinks that when you title your podcast that's writing.
I guess I'm gonna just.
You've typed. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, he seems to be very confused about this. And the fact that he's talking to his attorney about a defamation suit, you would think that he might ask the question, like, what, by the way, what type of defamation is this? So I don't sound like a moron when I go on my show and say that libel and slander. But no, he still hasn't done that.
I think most people don't know what libel means. I think most people are familiar with what slander is.
Well, I think most people know that one's one thing and one's the other thing, right?
I didn't.
Fair enough.
But I wouldn't use the words right without first checking.
Right. Yes. Sometimes I use words that I don't know what they mean because I hear other people say them, like all of us do. And then when I'm listening back to my show, I look it up and I go, oh, I'm taking that part out. I sound like a moron.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Do the same thing.
I do the same thing. Like I'll hear words and it depends on who I'm like listening to a lot of lately. Like now I'm listening and reading a lot of Jordan Peterson because he's doing a lot of he's doing a big media tour to promote like his new book that came out that I am reading. Tried to get JP. I'm going to keep trying. I'm not going to stop till I get him. But he uses the word paradox and paradoxical a lot. And it's I'm going to start saying it even though I don't really know what it means. So.
Yeah. When you start using words like that, people either take you seriously or realize you're a clown. The other words you use around that are very important. Don't just throw out paradoxal in a sentence and think you'll be taken seriously.
You're gonna be like, what? Pterodactyl? Paradoxal?
Ease your way into words like that, you know?
Yeah. That's not a beginner word at all.
Not a beginner word.
That's a SAT hot word.
Exactly.
Which I still remember. And used SAT hot words. Remember, you got a little book and it was like you had to memorize everything for the SATs.
I didn't get a fucking book for the SAT.
Really?
Cheating?
No, I had I did way stronger in the verbal than I did with like the math part.
I went to a state school because people like you on Long Island were cheating.
No, I just remember I had a tutor for the math section, and then that was it. And then I had a physics tutor just for like regular high school physics, but that was it.
Yeah. It's to be expected. Girls are really bad at math and physics and reasoning.
And you know what? Yeah. If they had been like in high school, like shoving, like, hey, you can do a STEM job, you can be a woman in science, I'd be like, no, fucking thank you. Yeah, I suck at this. I don't like it. Even if I was better at it, I wouldn't like it. Don't want to work in it. It's okay. Let people work in the fields they want to work in. Not everything has to be United Colors of Benetton. Not, you know what I mean?
Fascist. That sounds like something a fascist.
Oh yeah.
There, Chrissie. I can't believe this is going to get off of YouTube.
Oh, right. Yeah. On Kumi's show yesterday, I was on there and we're talking about like, right, exactly the thing you said before. The guy got in trouble for saying 3-time Jeopardy winner. And I had a smart point that I made, which I'm going to make again, because Jeopardy is one of the last merit-based like shows out there. It's not luck. It's not like they can just pick the winners on diversity. It's not like they, you know what I mean? It's just, do you know it or do you not? And I wouldn't be surprised if the most, if the overwhelming amount of Jeopardy winners were white dudes, and they don't have control over that, but they do have control over like, you cancel him for doing the thing and be like, oh, we don't support this. It's like you're trying to be woke because you have no control over wokeifying your winners. I
think everyone watching or listening to this knows how ridiculous this is, so I won't belabor the point. But just think about this. This guy's probably lived his entire life to get onto Jeopardy because these Jeopardy guys are into it.
Oh, they're obsessed. My brother's a huge fucking nerd. He got on college Jeopardy and like lost, but it's still, he was so fucking nerdy just to be considered.
They're so into it. So this guy finally gets onto Jeopardy. He wins 3 times in a row. And he decides that's the time that he is going to show these white supremacists on national television so that he can lose his livelihood and all of his friends. Like, what would that do for him? If you really think, and nobody really thinks that that's what this guy was doing, they're lying. But if you really thought that, what would be the end goal of this? This is a smart gentleman. Why would he do that?
Right.
Why would he put on, like a KKK outfit at the end of the show and be like, ha ha, look at who I really am. Start dancing around it. Makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. He would just be like, oh, look, I'm starting up a hood business. Check it out, guys.
They come in 1 colors.
Yeah. White, off-white, cream, beige. Oh, boy. Right. He's a Jeopardy winner 3 times. He's not going to be dumb enough to throw it all away. He knows how woke and gross things are right now.
But imagine if he really was a white supremacist or a white supremacist. Those are the people who would never do something like that.
Yeah.
Because they'd be so afraid to be outed for it. If you're comfortable with yourself and you're just like, yeah, 3 times, you're not even thinking a thought in your head that someone's going to misconstrue that.
Yeah.
White power. It's so stupid.
Yeah. People won't even like certain tweets or follow certain people on Twitter because that's how bad it is. You can get that much shit, fired from your job, lose friends over just that.
If you're a bachelor contestant and you follow the wrong people on Instagram, you're going to get fucked. So yeah, you got to be careful.
Oh my God. It's wild, man. It's wild. I had my first strike on YouTube. It was from the Aubrey Huff episode. They took the whole thing down for a medical misinformation or something. And that was it's definitely all him. But so I'm gonna try to clip that part out if I can. Save it. Maybe I'll just like keep.
Vaccines?
He was talking about the jabs. Yeah. So
the third rail now.
So yeah, that one's gone. And I'm like, oh man, the continuity's all messed up. Like it's just there's one missing now. So I'm either gonna just do a lot of good clips, put those out, or I'll try reposting it again with that section
you can
cut out.
Have some fun with it. Go to the part where you start talking about it, and then like put a box over his mouth.
And be like, boo, bleep it. That's great.
Greatest.
Be like this. Yeah, this part has been deleted for.
Have Frank overdub it so his lips aren't moving with the words. It's just like every vaccine will work perfectly.
That's so great. There is no reason to get it, even if you're healthy and the risks are low. Go on ahead and get it. Yeah.
Did you see Joe Rogan walked it back right away after
he did walk it back? Oh man.
I know. I was disappointed too. Like, Joe, it's okay. You can have an opinion, buddy.
How did he walk it back?
Well, he pretty much said, I wasn't thinking about like what Fauci said. Well, if you live in a vacuum, then yeah, if you're 21 years old and you're healthy, you don't have a lot to worry about, but you could still get it and transmit it to other people. And Joe's like, I wasn't thinking through all of that. And so I think everyone should get vaccinated.
Oh, no.
It happens.
Wow. I was watching this thing. Yeah. It was like Cuomo was talking about how, he was in the news because he was like, oh, if you don't get the jab, it's like you want to kill your grandparents. He says something that was like like, you realize you're you and you're saying that, right? But you could actually see, and who knows if these are even the real statistics, but the statistics came up with like how many people have gotten a jab in New York. I don't know if it's New York or New York City, but it was like young folks. It was like 16 to 23-year-olds. The percentage was only like maybe 18% or something. And then it was like 20 something, 30 something. It wasn't even up to 50% jabbed until you got to like, I think 50 and up or 55 and up. So I was like, wow, that's why the propaganda is so hard right now. Like they're hitting it so hard because I think people are just like, nope.
Oh yeah. No, everyone who wanted to get it has gotten it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They tried everything. They said, oh, it's exclusive. The appointments are hard to get because that will sometimes make a certain kind of person want to get it. Yeah. It's like at this point, yeah, people have been able to get them since February. It's May now. Like if you wanted it, you'd have it.
I'm telling you, they're going to eventually start paying people to get it. So if you're holding out, continue to hold out.
They are. I drove past a Wawa and it was like, hey, you want to work at Wawa? We'll give you $75 if you get it.
No shit, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I'd walk in there and start negotiating. I'm like, I need 150, bitch. 75.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to need a little more. If I'm not able to have kids, I'm going to need a little bit more than $75. Yeah.
Wow. By the way, what you just said, this show will get taken off.
Oh, no. I'm just saying hypothetically.
That's all it takes right there. Speaking of negotiating, look at that segue that I just did. I'm a fucking pro.
Oh my God. Look at you. Take it over.
When Dr. Steve came on my show, and Dr. Steve's a big fan, he said, I know that Vinnie Paulino, who's my co-host on my other show, The Creep Off, Vinnie Paulino has been trying behind the scenes to get Stuttering John to do a show with him where him and John can team up and bash me. And he thought, he thought this would be the funniest thing, to the point where Vinny was at the highest level of John's Patreon and he had a phone conversation with him. He even offered him money to do this show. He was really trying to get John to do this thing. So we had Dr. Steve come on and say, I'll pay John $1,000 to do it. And he put it out there, $1,000. So after that, his John's booking agent or manager or whatever he is, Dante the comedian, I think his name is, he said, oh yeah, we'll accept any offers. And then Vinny was DMing with John about it. Hey man, $1,000, what do you think? And then Dr. Steve was messaging John about it. And I'm not going to tell you what the amount is. I'm going to save that for my Patreon episode. But I will say, John said no, but then made a counter offer
for what he would do it for. Wow.
Would do it for. So $1,000 wasn't enough. And there was a price for something he does not want to do. A guy who used to make $500,000 a year on the Tonight Show for 10 years has a price, and you'll be surprised what that price is.
Is it lower than you thought?
It's a lot lower than I would think.
Ooh, that's great. Well, yeah. Karl, where can people find out what the real number was?
So if you go to whoarethese.com, you go to our about page. I have links to all of our stuff, our Patreon, our Supercast. That's where you can go and get the bonus episodes that are behind the paywall that are a lot of fun. We do 2 every single month, sometimes more. You can also get a link to our Discord, to our subreddit, to our Facebook, to Twitter, to all the different places you can find us, talk to other people who like to listen to the show, and find out more about us.
Ooh, okay. So other than Dr. Steve, what are some of the other like notable episodes or like maybe new guests that surprised you that with how like either good they were or prepared they were?
Oh my gosh. You know what? That's a great question. And I had a couple of notes on people I was excited to talk to recently, and now I'm going to draw a blank on who else has been good lately. So we have the regulars in, Croge, Andy, Doug from a show Good Times Great Movies, who came on and did a bonus with me about Patrick Michael. who is a prolific podcaster. He has more podcasts than anyone else in the history of podcasting. My God, he's terrible at every single one of them. So also Doug from Who's Right. I don't know if you're familiar with the Official Podcast, but my buddy Kaya from the Official Podcast and Doug from Who's Right are going to be teaming up to do for a third time a Karl-less Who Are These Podcasts episode.
Karl-less?
Yes, I take a week off. Those guys churn out an episode, and I get to put it up without doing any work at all. So that's coming up soon. I'm excited about that. Oh, that's what I should say. All right, hold on. Cut all of that out. Here's what I should say.
Okay.
Coming up this weekend, Brian Johnson from Tell 'em Steve Dave is going to be on. You know Brian?
No, but I've heard of him.
He also works the compound Would You Kindly with E-Rock.
Oh, yes, of course. Okay. Okay. I've never met him, but I know him. I know exactly who that is.
Brian is the host of Tell 'em Steve Dave, which is one of the biggest podcasts in the world. They make a shit ton of money on Patreon. Very successful. Of course, that came from Kevin Smith's Comic Book Man. They used to have a TV show on A&E. Brian's a big fan of the show. He does a phenomenal job when he comes on. And he's a good yin to my yang. I get very excited and I have a lot of energy, and Brian brings it back down again, mellows things out
good
a little bit. And I also have a very special guest who may or may not spend a lot of time at Anthony Cumia's house, who will be coming on the show this weekend as well.
Joe Curry?
So I'm not going to say, but I'm very excited about that. It'll be fun.
Ooh, oh my goodness. I wonder if it's the cat.
It might be Beavis. Beavis has been there a long time.
Who are these podcasts?
Oh, I get it.
All right.
I don't like doggy style. I like cat style.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know my jokes. Karl, and then people can follow you on Twitter at
Who Are These Pod?
Who Are These Pod written out. Who Are These Pod? I love it. Karl, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was great to see you. Always great talking about our favorite people.
And I just want to congratulate you on all your success. You've been killing it. And I love everything that you're doing on the show. It has improved a ton since I first checked in.
Since you reviewed it.
On you and Gino.
Oh, you reviewed the very first episode?
First episode when you were in your break room. And
bad.
20 minutes in with Gino. And you've come a long way. The show's excellent. Great job.
Oh, wow. That really means a lot coming from you.
You got it.
Thanks, Karl. Everybody follow Karl. Listen to his show. It's legit. Like, I didn't think I would like it, but now it's one of my favorites. So
thanks, Chrissie.
Thank you so much. Bye.